Hello, hello. Today we're going to talk about what it's like dating a student pilot, but also what it's like being a student pilot and dating. So today we're doing something different. We're going to the park. Ash has packed grapes, watermelon, strawberries. Just look at these amazing, juicy grapes. Anyways, we hope that you learn a lot today before you go off and become an airline pilot or date one.
I'm on a mission to find this park because I don't actually really know where it is. And now I'm currently a little lost, but I think I just go right here. We're gonna find it.
There's nothing more important to me than making my partner feel like we're in it together. And that doesn't mean only the good times, but it also means the not so good times, the debt, the stress. I am the kind of partner where I want to be a part of it all. And today we're gonna get really deep about what it's like dating a student pilot.
Look at my dirty sock.
Wow.
All right, so
Flight school. I feel like we don't talk about flight school very much, which is funny because that's like 90% of my life right now.
our life.
Yeah, most of my life. You make a lot of content. I feel like I've been behind the ball on that because I've just been so absorbed with school. But I guess that's the first thing to say.
Flight school takes up 90% of your life. That's the first thing that you need to know.
Yep.
Something that I would say as someone who's engaged and dating someone that's in pilot school is that pilot school is a priority. And it's not to say that our relationship isn't a priority, but
Do you know what you're doing in the bedroom with women?
Do you need guidance, tips, perhaps a coach?
Well, we can give you something pretty close to that. We have a YouTube members as well as Patreon where we discuss all things lesbian sex ed. We're your older sisters, your lesbian aunts, and we will tell you how it is.
You will learn from our experiences as well as special guests that share their own personal experiences and things they knew or wish they knew before getting in the bedroom.
And our videos are not stuffy. It's not like, do this, and this, you know? Like, we very much go off of our own anecdotes, things that have happened with us. A little bit too oversharing, so you'll know a lot about us by the time you're done watching our video.
Seriously.
When I first came out, I literally knew nothing, had no clue what I was doing, was so embarrassed and nervous and stressed around women when it came to sex. And we are here to try to help you avoid that awkward stage.
Yeah. And for me, I was the type of person that would pretend to know what they're doing, but really I did not know what I was doing, and it did not lead to a successful bedroom experience on my end. We want to save you the embarrassment, give you some tips and tricks, and we also have fun games that we play together as a couple that we think you would enjoy. So
like dirty would you rather or truth or dare, kissing challenges, all that kind of stuff. So there's lots of fun content. We make 2 videos a week, full-length videos on there on top of our vlogs. So
we've grown over 4,000 members, so come join us.
yeah, see you there.
Back to the YouTube video.
but I don't feel like one's more important than the other. We have to make both work at the same time. And that means giving some things up that you normally wouldn't have to give up. And that's basically what I have to say about that. I think it's just like dating a doctor that's in medical school or a lawyer, anyone in that type of intense school regimen is going to have the same type of life that we do when they're starting.
I think before I started flight school, I didn't really conceptualize how much of my life it would take up. I thought that I would be like really on top of it with all my content and stuff. And while I was doing my private pilot license, I was actually making much more like short form content. But it also, I feel like almost made it harder for me to like stay on track, and it kind of prolonged how long it took me to get my license. At this point, I kind of feel like I've mostly given up on focusing on content, but then we make our long form content together. We'll just like film a couple things a week where we sit down and then she'll edit it.
So we're a team, right? And that's what it comes down to, is knowing that you're a team. So even though Ash can't take time out of her day and film TikToks because she is studying and doing flashcards or flying an airplane
Or in sim or whatever.
Yeah, the teamwork is well, I'm responsible for making the content with her. So when Ash does have a little bit of time to make content, she doesn't have to think about the content, and basically just show up and do it, and then go back to school and homework.
Yeah.
So like it's like my responsibility to have the content basically ready to go, so you know what we're doing, and we don't waste time thinking about what to do. Like that's something that I have time to think about and see what we could do. So then Ash can focus on school, and at the same time, like we can have it all. She can go to school, and we can also be content creators, you know, and it wouldn't be possible if we weren't a team.
I agree. Like for example, today, so I'm getting my bachelor's degree in aviation. So it's not just flight school, it's learning to fly the plane and the ground school for all that, and the studying for the written test and all that, on top of taking other credits and other classes. So that's what keeps me really busy, is I just always have things that are due and that I'm needing to do.
But even when you were in this 4-year program, and you were,
It's still intense.
it was more intense because there was no order. It was more anxiety in your
Exactly. I didn't know like what I was supposed to be doing at all times.
It was stressful.
I prefer this because I at least have my deadlines. I know when things are supposed to be done by, what I'm supposed to do exactly. I actually have like study guides and things like that. So for example, today I have an aviation weather class online, and I had a big group project that was due today. And I had planned originally to get it done earlier, but then my best friend came and surprised us and flew in to see us, which was awesome. So we ended up hanging out with her this weekend, but it got pushed to today because it's literally due today. So I was working on that pretty much all day, and you had already come up with some TikToks for us to do, and we knew that we had to film later today. So it's kind of like Patreon is due today. We're not filming it until the evening and getting it out until the evening. We're filming this the day before it's going out tomorrow. So it kind of was like that, where I think before we came to this new school, we would try to have like a full day where we would make content, and I just can't do that anymore. It just doesn't work with my schedule. But even before, I feel like it was pushing me back. Like I wasn't moving forward as fast with my other school because I was taking more time off to do things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I like that it's just like, let's just get through it. But yeah, I would say if you're planning on going to flight school, it would be really, really cool if you just had somebody who was funding your life and you didn't have to worry about working at all, because it would be very helpful to just focus on school.
And that goes to say about the finances, you know, going to flight school is not cheap. So that's also something to take into account, and like basically having a plan on how you're going to pay it if you don't already have the support or the finances to pay it.
No.
That in itself, we have a plan, and we make money together. So that gives us peace of mind that other people don't have.
Yeah.
But at the same time, all our money is going off to pay this loan. So even though we're making money, it doesn't feel like we are, because most people don't pay off their loan until they're a pilot, which is nuts. That's crazy. You're paying like 3 times more for the money you borrowed by waiting that long.
Because it's accruing interest from the moment that you get the loan with most aviation loans.
And that's something I didn't know. I knew that Ash had an aviation loan. It's not that like she didn't tell me. I knew she had a loan, but I didn't know that it started accruing interest the moment she took it out. By the time I met you, you had that loan for what, 4 months? And I didn't know until like, what, 3 months ago? We didn't know. I don't think you knew either. I think you thought that.
I just kind of forgotten about all the terms of it, yeah.
And bringing this topic up, when you go to aviation school, you don't get help the way
you would for like med school or other.
You have to take out a personal loan, and the interest rates right now are horrible.
It's a personal loan or a private student loan, which still ends up being, if you don't have a cosigner, the same amount of interest, about 15% or so, like right now.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. We're trying to work through paying the rest of my school not with loans, so we'll see how that kind of goes.
Yeah, we don't want to use loans.
But then we also are trying to prioritize putting money towards the loan I already have that's 15%.
Yeah.
So it's a balancing act for sure.
So that's another thing that is a reality for us, is paying the first, because there's a bunch of loans. Well, not really. We have one loan, well technically 2, but they all look different. The worst loan is the one that you took out before you met me at 15% interest for like $59,000 or something. And that's a priority to pay off because that already is gaining interest right now as we speak. And the goal is to pay it off by next year. Before the baby's here, before I even get pregnant, honestly.
Yeah, that would
pay
be
that
cool.
whole thing off. Like, we could do that. That's the plan. So having a plan gives you peace. You know, having obviously income to be able to execute the plan
Also gives you peace.
Yeah. So that's just a reality.
Yeah, so the financial thing.
Also, if you're dating a student pilot, you should be aware of their finances and where that's going. As someone who's dating one, that's something that you should know about too. Like, I know a bunch of people, because I've met you, that have the same loan you have, and they're not even worried about it.
Yep, they're not actively trying to pay it off in any way right now.
Yeah.
Which I understand, because most people who are going to pilot school don't just have a bunch of money just hanging around to pay it right now, and then it's such an invasive school and like program that they don't have a lot of time to be working too. So it's hard. I understand why people get into that.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that they don't understand the complexity of what's happening. I feel like they lack knowledge of, if you're not paying at least $100 a month on the principal of your loan, I don't think they understand like how much that's costing them. You know, because I think if they knew the impact and the cost of it, they wouldn't just be pretending it doesn't exist or not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
You know? That's just my theory. But anyways, that's a reality about dating a student pilot. Is
Also say
funding.
I'd also say time. Like,
Time.
you know when you first start dating somebody and you just want to spend like 24/7 with them, and even once you're in a relationship, I think it's very common to want to spend every waking second that you have available to them. When you're in flight school, you have less moments available in general. My weekends I still need to be studying and doing things. I find it hard to take any days off at all. I did yesterday. I took a day off yesterday. But I have like a whole written test next Friday. You know, I just have like a lot of things going on. And there's always something that you're working towards, the next part of your rating or the next, like at part 141, the next stage check. And so it feels like you can never really take a break. I'm gone really until like 8 or 9 p.m. every day. I do kind of go a little later in the day now. I feel like we've been filming some content in the morning or spending a little bit of time together in the morning first and then me leaving. But it's just a grind. It's like it's one of those things where it's just this monotonous grind every day kind of thing. And I know that it's going to be worth it in the end, and we're going to be able to go spend a lot of time together and do a lot of fun things. But right now we're not doing like a ton of dates. We're spending more time at home like watching Netflix because I'm just so tired, and honestly so are you.
Yeah, I'm tired. We don't have the time. And when we do have time, we want to spend it together. So we don't really get to have the luxuries of like going out on a trip with friends or really going to parties much or any of that. Or even going to a pool party. Like, we got to say no to those things because our priority lies on, you know, the school and the money as well to pay off the school.
Yeah, so we pretty much spend all of our time studying and creating content.
Yeah, that's how we're here.
Yeah, but
it's so worth it to us. Like, I have fun. We're not saying, at least I'm not saying this as a way of complaining. I'm enjoying the process. Maybe it's just my personality. Like, this is not a problem for me. Obviously, I would like to travel with Ash and, you know, spend more quality time together. But at the same time, I know that this is not the end all be all where we're at right now, which makes it more exciting for when we get there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you're here from the ground up.
I met Ash, I think a month and a half after she started flight school. So I've basically been in your life since you started flight school.
That's true. Yeah. And initially it was hard, I feel like, to be dating. This is a big part of the reason why I broke it off with you the first time. I didn't know if I could have a relationship in flight school because I am such that personality that I just want to like spend time with the person I'm just barely dating, and I want to go do everything together, blah, blah, blah. And I was being super irresponsible with my own school, and we were long distance. So it was like when we saw each other, it was me going out there for a while or her coming over here for a while. And then I kind of felt like, oh, well, when you're here, I need to be only focused on you. And I didn't know how to like have the communication and like set the boundaries of like, hey, I still need to be working on school and stuff, which is funny because knowing you love to work too. You'd be like, fine, sure, okay, cool, I'll do my own thing. It's hard to like be in that just obsessed with your partner every second together kind of vibe while you're in flight school. But the positive thing about it is that having somebody who's a serious relationship, I tried doing like just casual dating around people. Oh my God, it was so stressful during school because it just was like, I don't have time for this. Whereas like an actual partner who's here and like helping you through everything, being there for you emotionally, you come home, like I come home from school and she has dinner ready for me like every single time. It's the best thing in the whole world.
Not every time, but
okay, like 90% of the time.
9 out of 10 times.
Yeah, I come home and she has this beautiful meal prepared for me. And you're helping me like, you're literally helping me pay the loan off. We're like, we also have an income together and stuff too, which is
her
really
loan
nice.
is my loan, and people don't get that. A lot of people don't get it, and I could see that. I could see why people wouldn't understand that, but I view it as this is the woman I'm marrying, so why wouldn't it be my debt? I don't like living life with, especially with the person that I'm living the rest of my life with, being like, this is yours, this is mine, and like very divided. I agree. That's just my preference. I don't think it should be the law, but that's just my preference.
I'm the same way.
I don't like the roommate dynamic at all. So that's how I see everything, including this beautiful loan. So it applies for everything, not just the good parts, but also the bad parts, you know?
Well, yep, and then you're gonna get all these awesome private jet flights with me and get to go travel. And
hell yeah. So this brings us to the next topic. Now that you know about the beginning and where we're at now, our future, like what does the future look like? And this is something that I believe it's very important to talk about with your partner, especially the person that's me in the relationship, because something that people like me need to know is the lifestyle of a professional pilot, whether they're in the airlines or in private jets. The lifestyle it's not your 9 to 5, you come home every afternoon lifestyle. And Ash can go into deeper detail as to what that looks like.
Yeah, so obviously I'm not in the airlines of any sort yet, so I'm only speaking from what people have told me. But from what I'm aware, most people's schedules are going to be a few days on and then a few days off. So they'll be gone for 2 to 7 days, and then they'll be back for the same amount of time, 2 to 7 days or whatever. And there's different schedules. Some people would be like 7 days on, 7 days off, 7 days on, 7 days off. Some people it's just like 3 days on, 2 days off, 4 days on. You know, it's very sporadic depending on where you're at.
Also, it depends whether you're in the airlines or whether you're working for a private charter jet company. But what we know for sure is that if you do choose to do the airlines, and by airlines we mean like Southwest,
commercial airlines,
Delta, when you first get hired by them, you're at the bottom of the pool, and you're basically like an escort on call. You know, they'll let you know like last minute, oh, you got to fly this plane here, you know, and you got to do it.
Yeah, you're on reserve is what it's called.
And that
a lot when you're new.
Yeah, reserve is the right terminology. And that means that you'll miss birthdays, you'll miss Christmases, like they won't be there for that.
The first few years, like the first, I don't even know, maybe even 10 years of being an airline pilot, you're going to miss holidays, you're going to miss, like you don't really have much say over your schedule. It does depend though. I know people are moving up quicker these days than in the past. And so they're getting more seniority and being able to choose their own schedules a little better, but it is a grind, and there are things that you would definitely will miss in that dynamic. Then when it comes to private jets, I'm trying to remember what she was telling me.
Private jets is different, but then again, every company is different. So what one company does doesn't mean the other company is doing it. But what we learned through private jets, specifically this one company that Ash's friend works for, is that immediately, whether you're a senior or a rookie, you work 7 days on and 7 days off, and you know your calendar from now till next year. That's something
which is not at the commercial airlines.
Yeah, so for some people that might be a problem to have their partner gone 7 days in a row in different countries and different islands. people got trust issues. A lot of people wouldn't be able to do that. And that's something that if you're going to date a pilot, you have to be confident about and feel safe about. You know?
I think you have to, it's not even necessarily you. I feel like it's the dynamic you have with your partner. Like, you have to trust that person.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of comments on TikTok. People are like, I could never date a pilot, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Like, good luck, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, to you?
Not to me, just other people's posts. There's one couple specifically.
There's the cons, and then there's also the positives. So there's the people who are like, I couldn't do it because of all that. But then there's the people who actively are like, I would love to date a pilot because the flight benefits, all these different things, the money. It's pretty decent money, you know. I'd say like 1 to 400K. Really, really good benefits generally, like health benefits and stuff. Okay, so I originally had wanted to do private jets before I met her, and then but you were really wanting flight benefits, which I also was, and so we're like, okay, let's just go for the airlines, because I was like, it sucks that there's not like traditional flight benefits with a private jet company. Now, and like she said earlier, the private jet world is harder because there's so many different companies that operate completely differently, but there are multiple companies that are kind of like airlines, like private jet airlines. And so they have really good safety, and they have a lot of really good benefits. And so specifically the one that I'm interested in working for, I have a friend that works there that has told me about it. And we just talked to her on the phone and learned that, oh, they do have flight benefits, except for their flight benefits are free private jet rides.
Even better.
Yeah, so it's similar to like the airlines, except for that it's exclusively when people are basically like moving the plane over to a different country or to another place to go get a client, basically. And so they're like taking the plane over there, and then the employees are welcome to just hop on that plane and take the free private jet for them, their partner, their children, and their parents. So that's pretty exciting. I would much rather have private jet benefits than just the cramped economy, like standby.
Maybe first class benefits.
Yeah.
In the airlines. So that's also something that has changed for us. But regardless, Ash will be gone often.
Yeah.
Which most people don't have to deal with that because they work a normal job per se.
So then how do you feel about that, baby?
I love it. I think, I mean, if that weren't there, I would still love it. It's just what's so, you know? And what it says to me is, okay, how can we mold our life to work around that? You know, because it's important. And what that looks like for Ash and I is, okay, well, if Ash is going to be gone, let's say half of the month, then we need to be near family. You know, especially because we're planning to have children soon, and by soon I mean like in 2 years the baby will actually be born on this earth. How we manage that is, okay, we need my mom to be around, family members to be around to help me when Ash is not home. So that's how we've had to structure our lives, versus if Ash weren't gone all the time, we could live literally probably wherever we wanted to, but that's not a luxury that we have, at least when our kids are children, because I need the support that Ash won't be able to give when she's gone. So it's things like that you have to think about and plan with your partner that you normally wouldn't have to plan.
Yeah, we've had lots of conversations about that, because I also feel a little bit of like guilt about leaving you with the kids for half the month, but I think, yeah, if we have the right support, it'll be just fine.
It'll be perfect.
Yeah. And luckily, I feel like we are compatible in the way that you are like game to take that on. Like, you're like, I'm okay with being home with the kids, and I'm okay with doing stuff, you know?
And there's people that wouldn't be okay with that. That's why you have to watch this video. You know? Like, there's nothing wrong with not being okay with it, but it's just not compatible with your partner's career. But yeah, I hope you guys learned something from this conversation. If there's anything else you'd like us to elaborate on, we'd love to.
Yeah, let us know what questions you have, what things you'd like to see. I know people have been asking for more flight school content. With my school, I'm very limited in the things I'm allowed to post and to show on video, but we can definitely talk about a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
So let us know what you want to see.
Yeah, we love you.
Love you. Ciao, ciao.